Hello. Well, welcome back. We're here for another night of Reggie Sleepout Live on this rainy Wednesday evening. Thank you all of you out there who are joining us tonight for another edition of Reggie Sleepout Live. And I'm joined here again by our director, Toby O'Barry. How's it going, Toby?
It's going well. Thanks, Blake, for day 6, 6 of 10. You were talking a little bit about the rain, and I'm happy that it's raining today and it's kind of dreary and wet. A lot of times events don't want bad weather, but some of our events for Reggie Sleepout, it's almost the opposite because our youth are sleeping out on the streets every night. And so you think about tonight, we have some youth on the streets tonight. It's wet, it's rainy. And it's just a good reminder of why we do this event and why we participate. It's not always great weather. And so I'm glad that it's rainy and because it's just a good reminder of why we do this event.
Right, of course. There's no better way. Showing is always better than telling. So we got to embrace that challenge of the weather tonight. And it's really nice to have a little extra rain coming in from all the drought.
Yeah, so farmers are happy. I'm sure a lot of people are happy about the rain.
Yep. Well, thank you again for tuning in. We're here talking Reggie Sleepout at Home. Thank you to all of you who have registered and fundraised so far for us. We've got a lot of movement going in the last couple of days here, a lot of momentum, and it's really fun to see all those photos streaming in for all of you participating at home. Remember, you can always share those photos with us, the hashtag RSO at home, and we will be showcasing some of those photos throughout the evenings. We'll be here every night at 7 p.m. except tomorrow. Tomorrow will be 6 o'clock. But we appreciate you joining us tonight. Toby, I don't know if you want to give us just a quick rundown. You know, a lot of the folks are familiar watching at home, but for those that aren't, why is this event so important? And how are we, honoring and representing our youth who are experiencing homelessness through this?
Yeah, Reggie Sleepout is really twofold. It's raising awareness of the issues surrounding youth homelessness, as well as remembering a youth, Reggie Kelsey, who passed away because he didn't get the services that he needed, which we now have in place here in our community, that we hope that there aren't other Reggie Kelseys down the road. And this event really raises awareness, funds to support other youth, and honors Reggie Kelsey for his loss of life.
Yeah, and every year we bring together hundreds of campers, thousands of dollars to try and commit to helping combat youth homelessness in our community right here in Central Iowa. And it's really hard to get a grasp of how big this is and how your money actually goes into effect when we're fundraising in this way. So, Toby, maybe you could talk a little bit about how folks are making an impact at home by doing this fundraiser. And I know we've got $350 as kind of our spotlight for tonight. So,
yep, it is. And we wanted to kind of recognize what that investment and that impact can create. And that first one is comes in handy. This evening, we were handing out lots of warm clothing to youth even today. So $350 will provide warm clothing for 7 youth at our agency. So you think about gloves, hats, scarves, jackets, snow pants, and even trying to provide boots when we're able to. I can't tell you the amount of gloves and hats that we go through. And so that $350 investment provides a lot of warm clothing for our youth. The second impact that we're going to highlight tonight is cleaning supplies. So really, even more so now due to COVID-19 and the pandemic, $350 raised at Reggie Sleepout provides cleaning supplies for an entire month for our 6 duplexes that we clean at our Lighthouse Transitional Living Program. And then the third item, $350 impact and an investment, provides towels and shower items like shampoo and soap for 3 months at our Youth Opportunity Center. So we have 9 emergency beds there, and youth come and go throughout the day, are able to take showers, and that $350 will provide equipment and supplies for those showers for 3 months.
Yeah, every little bit counts and it all adds up. Yeah, when you're spotlighting that $350 for cleaning supplies, you don't think about it, but we're really running through that stuff right now when we're desanitizing constantly for COVID-19. So great idea to spotlight that. We're going to be spotlighting actually how our agency has reacted to COVID-19 in just a little bit here.
Yep.
How we've navigated the pandemic. But first, we're going to do a quick spotlight on one of you guys. We try and highlight a team every week that's been doing great work. And this is a little bit of a different one. We actually wanted to highlight Home Team Wellness and Recovery out of Ames, Iowa. They did a really creative fundraiser. So they're really focused on trying to provide healthcare for active folks. And so they wanted to try and invite people to participate and donate $5 to Reggie Sleepout every time they participate in one of their virtual 5Ks. So every Monday leading up to the event in the month of September and August, they were doing a little $5 5K, and it was really neat to see some of those photos too. I mean, appreciate you guys for really hopping on board and being creative. So Home Team Wellness and Recovery, nice work.
Yeah, it's such a unique way to engage the community. It's kind of a secondary fundraiser within a fundraiser. And it's pretty cool to see when teams and the community gets creative around how they can raise funds for homeless youth. So hats off to them. That was kind of a cool event. And I mean, Blake, you're a big runner. I'm sure you could resonate with that kind of strategy of engagement.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're going to be out there running anyways. You might as well go and support a good cause while you're doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was really cool to see all of you guys continuing to show us how you're participating in the event over the course of these next couple of days. So don't forget to submit those photos and share with us. We're going to take a quick moment here to spotlight a look at one of our youth that was in one of our videos just last night. It's really neat to try and take a moment whenever we can to look at the success of anyone who's gone through our program and showcase the great work that they've done personally, working with our staff over the years and growing and maturing as an adult. And Sarah Kennedy is out there right now living life. And we just wanted to talk a little bit about her and show you a quick video here.
I graduated from high school in 2004 and came to Iowa to set a good foundation for myself. I went to Faith Baptist Bible College in Ankeny and just got into not the best group of friends that were doing drugs and just, not really looking out for my best interest. And so that led me down a path of drug use and just really reckless behavior. And I was building my life out of all of these matchsticks, and the smallest, little fire just burned everything to the ground. So I attempted suicide and ended up in the hospital for a couple of days. Lost my home, lost my job, lost all my friends. Like literally there was nothing for me. And so luckily I was connected with Iowa Homeless Youth Center while I was in an emergency bed. I roomed with a track star, beautiful, brilliant young girl who, had just been not having a good time with her parents, I don't think. So there was her. She came from what seemed like an affluent family. There was a boy who was an immigrant from Mexico. He barely spoke English, and we're still really good friends and communicate often. I started writing, and I think I've just been writing ever since. It's a lot of therapy for me. I can identify different cycles that I'm going through and can see trends, and that is helpful for me, and that I have some space to let things go, but then I can also review it and see how I can make adjustments to the way that I approach challenges or deal with stress. So I started writing, built myself a lot of security. I work as a paralegal at Wells Fargo and have an incredible career that is able, I'm able to support my family with. I own a home. I just bought a new car in quarantine. Lots and lots of things I'm very, very blessed to be able to do now. And 14 years ago, I had no outlook. I didn't think that any of this was going to be possible for me. It was a great program for me. It taught me so many living skills, like saving a whole lot of my money. And I always think about that, even now, like how much I'm saving and keeping an eye on that type of thing. They just connected me with so many different resources that I wouldn't have been able to do by myself. I got my license while I was there. I bought a car. I got everything that I needed to try and raise a baby. I wasn't receiving a hand out, it was a hand up, and just a different perspective to see things just a little bit differently. And I carried it with me for 14 years.
Yeah, what a great story.
Very cool. Yeah. In talking with Sarah, I actually got to have a little conversation with her when we were taping that interview. And it was really, really neat to hear her talk about her writing and how she's used that as a tool for personal growth. And, over the years, she said she's tried a couple blogs, and this one is really one that's stuck with a lot of people, just because she's talking about her own experiences and how she's always looking to the positive side. A lot like how we interact with our youth, that positive youth development that you were talking about last night, Toby.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that it's kind of grown and seen some traction by focusing on that positive side is really, really neat. And she's got 10,000 followers now on Instagram, doing great, got a family and a great career. And so just a great story.
Yeah, it seems she seems so mature and well put together that sometimes you have people just can't believe that someone was ever homeless when they are so well put together. And it just shows that our youth need just a little bit of support, and they can thrive and be successful if they have someone that believes in them, and they can kind of get back up off their feet. And so it just validates all the hard work that our staff does day in after day. And it also shows, typically we don't get to see the 14 years later, how is someone doing? We see them exiting successful and excited for the future and maybe putting a deposit down on their apartment. And some of our youth we do interact with and engage from time to time, but we miss that stability on the back end on how they're doing. We kind of change the trajectory of their life and don't get to see kind of that plateau and that elevation. And with Sarah, we were kind of able to see that a little bit, which is really cool to see. And it's not every day that we get to experience kind of that 14 years later, how we provided that positive impact in a youth's life that helped break the cycle of poverty. She talked about owning a home and buying a car. A lot of what we do at Iowa Homeless Youth Centers is breaking the cycle of a continuous cycle of poverty where it's multi-generational. And with Sarah, that's an example that shows that she is successful. She has assets and has a net worth that she isn't in poverty, and her children won't be in poverty either. And so that is a multi-generational, powerful description showing the impact. If you provide that upfront impact, you're gonna positively change multiple generations to come by investing and providing impact through Iowa Homeless Youth Centers.
Yes, of course. Very impactful story.
Mm-hmm.
Another great way that we can talk a little impact is looking at the numbers. So every night we try and showcase a little bit of the grander scope of youth homelessness and talk a little bit about the details of our programs and showcasing where we see success. And so I think you've got a couple numbers for us to look at tonight here, Toby.
Yep. So the first one is really about skill building and helping youth be successful around kind of education and employment. obtaining a livable wage. And so one way we do that is a lot of our youth have not graduated from high school, and so they are able to complete their high set degree, obtain their high school diploma. And we had 15 youth in 2018, 2019 that did secure their high school degree. So it's a big deal. It's kind of a stepping stone that a lot of youth, then you'll see kind of that second, did you know? We had 8 youth graduate from our post-secondary education retention program with their associate's degree. And so that high set is kind of that first start where a youth understands the power of education. They transition into our post-secondary program, obtain their 2-year AA degree, and typically transition on to a 4-year college degree in that post-secondary degree program. We actually had one young lady in our post-secondary program graduate with a degree in biology and then apply to medical school. So it's really the sky's the limit from a education standpoint. And so that post-secondary degree and the high set are 2 stepping stones towards self-sufficiency. And then that third, did you know, is the average length of stay in our housing programs is 10 months. So what's interesting is our programs are even longer than that. So the youth can stay typically up to around 2 years is the max in the housing programs, but sometimes it's 12 months is the max. But a lot of times our youth don't need that whole amount of time to be successful. And now that 10 months is an average. Some need more time and some can leave after 90 days or so. So really that 10 months just shows that our housing programs are long-term. So it isn't a 30-day stay or a 90-day where it really gives youth time to breathe, focus on their long-term goals like that high set or the AA degree, and really focus on themselves, knowing that their housing is taken care of, kind of their basic needs are being met for them and for their family. And that 10 months to 24-month time period kind of just gives them that flexibility and safety net to thrive.
Yeah, of course. There's a lot of opportunity in that time frame of being able to work with our staff, being able to, build up that security net and really grow as a person. So thankful that we have those 10 months. So kind of turning on a dime here. So life has been crazy lately. 2020 has thrown
really?
A lot.
Has it?
Yep, you've heard that before, haven't you?
It is crazy. You are right.
And we've had to kind of adapt to a new normal here at IHYC with COVID-19, and there's been a lot of change, and some things have stayed the same. And it's just about adapting to a different service model for a lot of those pieces that we do from a day-to-day standpoint. So we've got a quick video we're going to show you here where we're talking to some of our staff about how they've adapted to each of the programs to try and combat COVID-19, and then we'll talk a little bit more. With the emergence of a new normal due to COVID-19, our staff has had to be creative in finding ways to continue to meet our youth where they're at in life. We are working to find new service delivery models for each of our different programs. Despite these new challenges, we continue to take in new youth since the emergence of the pandemic.
With COVID, so the main change I think has been going from in-person case management meetings to over the phone with some of not all of our youth, but with some of the youth. So obviously that can be a little tough when you're not in person with somebody, but we still do have some in-person meetings for maybe people who have some higher needs.
Yeah, the biggest changes in COVID have been providing meals to youth that want to come up to the door, and then just our weekly shopping. Sometimes products will be out, or some products become more expensive to purchase, and it just that's the biggest change in COVID. Our biggest need right now is getting snacks for the youth, or even helping us run errands. We're trying to start a new program at the Lighthouse to bring food over to them once or twice a week. and just help get food to where it needs to go.
So in June, we started opening up for showers and laundry. So our drop-in participants could set up appointment times with us to use our showers and do laundry, as those are very basic needs for everybody. And even if they are maybe staying inside, they still don't have access to a safe shower or laundry.
A lot of it since COVID though is providing like food items or household items, like the toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, that sort of thing. And then also budgeting is also a big thing that I'm trying to do, with each youth, but it's hard when without face-to-face as easy.
So for young people who might be in a low income situation or are at risk for homelessness, you can imagine that having a reduction of work hours might be an issue. Not having childcare all of a sudden might be an issue. And of course, for a lot of our young people, they might even have technology issues. For us, what we've done is we've adapted and we've tried to meet with our students virtually where we can. For students who've had technology problems, we tried to help them convert from that traditional classroom setting to being able to do an online, finish up the coursework online. We've had students who we've had to help find alternative employment, get them set up either working from home or finding a new way to get some work hours in. So our students have definitely experienced the effect of COVID-19, and our program is continued to try to meet their needs as they've come up.
I know I could count on our team here at the Youth Opportunity Center, but also all of the other coordinators and staff to help identify how to troubleshoot these problems that we didn't think we'd have to deal with before.
Yeah, it's really hats off to our staff during this time. As the leader at Iowa Homeless Youth Centers, it's really my responsibility to keep our staff and our youth safe kind of during this time. And really, I think it boils down to just what procedures and policies can you put in place around screening and assessment and safety planning and cleaning. I think PPE, so personal protective equipment, something I did not know that phrase 6 months ago. So it's kind of a steep learning curve around how we operate. But I think that it's been great to see all the staff and the youth even kind of rally together. So I'll give an example. Our Youth Opportunity Center, we have 9 emergency beds. Those 9 youth, that's literally their home. So you think about the sheltering in place and what that looks like for an 18, 19, 20-year-old, and then you have 9 of them do that together. And how do you keep everybody safe? And how do you keep the staff safe? And looking at redundancy and on-call and cleaning and temperature screenings. But it was just amazing to see the youth rally around the cause. Lots of our youth willingly wore masks. They understood why we were asking them where they've been, who they've been with when they came back, and testing everyone's temperature repeatedly throughout the day. That it was pretty amazing to see the bond form even stronger between the staff and the youth that we serve during the pandemic and even today. And really, when you were asking the staff kind of what the changes or some of the differences, a lot of it is how can we provide the same support in a safe manner and deliver that care and that support safely. And a lot of it, like some of our staff talked about, is the element of technology and utilizing virtual components to case management, telephone, telehealth. But it's honestly harder for me to tell the staff to do that than the youth, because the staff really want to meet with the youth face to face and they want to help them. And so you almost have to bring the staff back to talk through what that safety dynamic is and why it's important to do that. But we haven't had any resistance at the agency. All the staff are on board. We've had multiple staff members and family of staff create masks for the agency, collect toilet paper during that crazy period when no one could buy toilet paper for like 2 months. And so staff would spread out around the community, finding items if they could only buy one, and texting each other and collecting all of it. So really, it was just coming together in a time of drastic change and still providing the services that we can to help meet the needs of the youth that we serve. And I think we're accomplishing that. It still is unknown kind of what each day brings, but I'm proud of how our staff have responded to the pandemic. I'm proud how our youth have responded as well. And I'm proud how our community has responded. A lot of the funders in the community have reached out to nonprofits and said, hey, what are your needs? Have you had expenses or unforeseen things come up due to COVID? How can we as funders help in the community? Federal funders are providing additional grant funding as well. And so we didn't stop providing services during this time, especially our housing services, that there were some other communities nationally that some agencies halted intakes during the time. And I'm very proud that our agency put processes in place that we could continue to provide services to the youth. And that wouldn't have been possible without our staff willing to do that. And all of our staff, in my heart, are essential to the success that we provide. And it's been pretty cool to see. So it by no means are we out of the water. And Polk County specific is going through some hiccups right now a little bit with COVID. But it's also just a time to remember this. And it's why I have long hair right now. I made a deal with one of our youth in our emergency bed programs that I wouldn't cut my hair if he wore a mask. So I made that same deal with my kids as well. So I haven't had a haircut since February. So it's silly, but it also reminds me having hair that's uncomfortable or having something that's out of your comfort zone is we need to be vigilant in protecting ourselves and protecting our youth. And it's really difficult because we can get complacent. So we try to have weekly team meetings talking about how we can share best practices across all of our programs. And it's been pretty amazing to see.
Yeah, the fact that
comments about my hair already.
a lot of hair fans out there.
Yes. Just not my kids. They say I look like a teenager. But yeah, I think COVID, we're responding as strong as we can. And all of our staff are doing a great job.
Yeah, the fact that we've had, gone through all these months and there's been no interruption in taking in new youth is a real big win. And yeah, if you look at how our youth are affected by this, it's a lot of the same stuff that we're already working with them on a day-to-day basis. Getting them connected with services for food and rental assistance, and the way the community has kind of rallied around trying to find new ways to do that has been amazing. So
yep,
hats off to everyone at IHYC and beyond, and our youth, of course, too. Hats off to you. So yeah, we're gonna be here, Toby, just a few more nights.
Yep, we're on the downward slope of Reggie Sleepout, but it's not too late. It's not too late. Sign up.
And as I understand, you've got a quick challenge for our folks at home here tonight. Something different.
Yes. So our challenge tonight is to share one picture of your campsite on social media. So even if it's wet out or dark, or maybe snap a photo in the morning, but just the challenge is sharing one picture of your campsite, if it's inside or outside or a sleeping bag, and share it on social media at the hashtag RSO at home.
Yeah, and we'll be showcasing some of those photos here tomorrow and throughout the weekend. So if you're going to come back tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, we have got teed up a great Q&A interview with Sam, our mental health therapist. On Friday, we're going to be talking our street outreach program and talking about how we go out into the community to try and find youth who are sleeping outside, who are in the camps, and get them connected with our services, as well as get them essential items like food, water, clothes, whatever else they need. On Saturday, we're going to be talking about the aftercare program and Reggie Kelsey. So a little bit more of a background about how all this got started. Who Reggie Kelsey was and how the aftercare program has kind of grown and bloomed into something that's a really wide encompassing program for those youth coming out of the foster care system and elsewhere. And then finally, last day of the event, day 10, we're going to be talking and looking to the future. And so we'll talk a little bit about how, we continue to grow and adapt our services. And one thing that you're really excited about, right, Toby, is the rooftop gardens, which would be a brand new entrepreneurial program that'll invite youth to go through some workforce development.
Yep, I'm super excited about that program that's coming up, and hope everyone tunes in on Sunday to hear about it.
All right, and we'll have our good friend Andrew Allen, CEO and president, will be joining us as well, just to talk a little bit about how excited he is for the future of YSS and everything that's going on with Reggie Sleepout this year.
Yep. So definitely tune in the next couple days. Tomorrow, like Blake said, 6 o'clock. And then the following days, we'll be back to our 7 p.m. time.
Yep, of course. If you're tuning in tomorrow, 6 o'clock to 6:30, we'll be here. And also tune in to YSS Let's Talk on the YSS Facebook page. They're there every Thursday night. Great content and a great conversation as well to learn more about everything that goes on at YSS.
Yep, that's right.
See ya.